Hello, and welcome to I Talk Real Talk. It is me, Leon Romari, and today I am on my own, but it's gonna be an absolutely lovely episode. I'm gonna be talking about my university experience so far. I'm currently studying in Sligo, ATU Sligo for the win. I'm just gonna be giving my honest, upfront opinions on how I feel of it and what's been going on. How is it starting out? Because a lot of my friends who are currently in sixth year are actually going to be coming into college next year. I assume most of them are anyways. So it'd be good for them to get like a nice little personalized experience of college from somebody that actually know. And for anybody else who's listening as well and what to expect, what not to expect. To be honest with you, when I was first picking my course, it was actually very interesting because I was really passionate about health science when I was starting out, because I was doing a lot of running at the time. I was really fit. I wanted to do a lot of like stuff with like my body and stuff. And I was like, this is really interesting how the body works, the different muscles, the different ways of moving to like increase your effectiveness and everything. I was like, yeah, this is absolutely lovely. Come the time it's around April, May, almost time to swap, I really became passionate about business, because then I started to like read a lot of books about investing, about money, about control of your financial future and everything, and like about businesses. So then my mind all of a sudden shift from health science all the way to business, and that's a completely different discipline. And I kept on consulting my mom, a few of my friends, and my cousins, and I was like, what do you think I should do? They're like, what do you think is your best, huh? Or what suits you best, or what you pull towards? But then, as I see as many of you were, like, you didn't really know what you wanted to do. Like, you definitely wanted to get out of secondary school, but at the same time, you didn't know what you wanted to do for like 3 to 4 years of your life. I mean, that's a long time. You could drop out and go work and make your money, but then you become more limited in the amount of money you can make without your degree, and that's an absolute fact. If you want to argue with me about saying you don't need a degree to become successful, that is true to an extent, but not everybody's going to become a multimillionaire. Not everybody's going to become a billionaire. So you kind of need a degree to actually get some a good career in the future. So I'd argue with that all day long. I'd argue on that with you all day long. I completely messed up my words there. But so I said, okay, I'll put down health science as my first option and then business as my second option. And from there, when I was in Kenya in June, I completely forgot to start my business to first. And so when it came the time to picking getting the offer rounds from the CEO to go to college or to be accepted to your college institution, I got offered health science, and by this time I did not want anything to do with health science, because I looked at the modules and I was like, yeah, nah, this is absolutely hard. I don't want to do this at all, because you have to wear a lab coat, you have to pay money for your lab coat, and then all the small details in your bones and everything. I was not arsed doing any of that stuff. So then I had to call them up and say, hey, look, I don't want to do health science anymore. Is there available courses for business in Sligo? And they were like, yeah, this is level 6, which is what I'm currently doing. And I hope to progress to level 8 for the honors degree. And I actually got the offer, and I was actually so happy. And now we're actually so now that I've told you what course I wanted to do and how I was picking it and everything, honestly, a little bit of advice on that is, if you don't know what course you wanted to do and you're still in the process of deciding, right? If you're in college right now, you already know what you want to do, or you're doing what you want to do. But if you're in the process of deciding, I'd say if you're interested in health science, buy a book or two about health, like related to health science. If you're related in chemistry, buy a book related to chemistry and read about it, or watch a few videos on YouTube of people's experiences and everything, so it can help you decide whether or not this is something you actually want to commit your time, energy, money, and effort into. So, college now, the parties. Well, let's start with the parties. I'll start with the parties, right? There's a lot of fine girls, man. And the temptation is real. And basically, so the first week of college, Freshers Week, everybody was going out. I mean, every single time you heard a conversation in classes, you'd hear people saying, I want to go to Freshers. Oh, I'm going to Freshers. Are you going out tomorrow night? Are you going out this night? And you can already see like friend groups have already started to sort out. Man, I had no friends that first week. I had no friends. I was literally writing solo. And my first 2 weeks was absolutely terrible, because I felt like, nah, this is not normal. You're meant to make the friends right off the bat. You're meant to be going out already. You're meant to be hanging out, going to the beach and all this stuff. My perception of college is shaped from the things I'd see on social media. And I was like, nah, this ain't good at all. I'm not liking it here. Like, and no one knows me. Like, how do you start a conversation? Even if I'm a naturally like outgoing guy, I still didn't know what to say to people. What do you ask? What do you talk about? How do you go from being a stranger to to a friend to a close friend to. I completely forgot how to do that whole process. So the first week of freshers, I think it was the 26th, that week of the last week of September, I decided to go out to a bar, to a pub or whatever, because it was an event at one of the nightclubs. And so I was on my own, and I was staying at Chris's house, and I said, Joe, I don't know what time I'll be back, but I'll be back. He's like, okay, cool. So I go out, and then I'm like, where the hell do I go? Because I don't have anybody on Snapchat. I don't have anybody on anything, so I don't have a clue of where to go. So I walk down the street on a corner street, and I see Gracie's bar, right? If you're from Sligo, you know what I'm talking about. I see Gracie's bar, and it's just me, and then I see people queuing in. People are already drunk. I'm like, how are you drunk? It's only 9 o'clock in the flipping in the night. Like, how are you drunk already? So I'm just looking around, and I'm like, bro, it's really like this. And then I see people queuing up, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Electric right now because it's at like 10 o'clock. Opens at 10 o'clock, it's around 9:30, so I'm gonna walk over there now. I'm gonna find where it is because I didn't know where Electric was at all. So I go, I try to find it, and then I see people, they're like, are you going to Electric right now? I'm like, yeah. They're like, don't go now, it's far too early. You need to go at midnight. I'm like, how am I supposed to stay out here till midnight on my own? I don't know anybody. And I see everybody start to queue up at Gracie's, and it's like a long queue, and I'm like, okay, this is probably the place to be. So I queue up and everything, and I'm just chilling, just looking around, just looking at people. And then behind me, there's a couple of girls, like 4 or 5 girls having a conversation. And it was one of them was like, boys, hit me up. I'm ready to get with you. And in my head, I just start shaking my head and laughing out loud. And then they all look at me and they start laughing as well. And then the girl who was saying that, she was like, do you have a problem or something? And I was like, no, I don't care. And then she's like, wow. She started to give me this attitude. And I'm like, yo, chill. I really don't care. Like, I'm just chilling. And she's like, oh, are you on your own? I'm like, yeah. She's like, wow. And then she started like taking the piss or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. So then they're like, oh, where you from? And I'm like, I'm from New York. I started trying to sound all American. Like, I'm from New York. Like, oh, no way. I'm like, yeah, my dad's a hedge fund manager. He makes like $600K a year. I've done this before. It's so funny the way, you know how like, you are as you appear. So whenever you meet someone for the first time, it's literally how you present yourself now. That's how they see you. So I was like, I can actually try and mess with this for a bit. So I did, and then they started taking a great interest in me and everything like that. And then that girl started to actually vibe with me. And I was like, okay, now you're switching up on me. I see how it is. And then they told me their names, and I forgot their names, and I kept on seeing them inside the pub. And they were like, Leon, and I'm like, guy. And then like, do you remember me? Because I'm a first year, she's a third year. Obviously, I said I'm a second year as well. She's like, oh, you're still a kid. One thing I hate, if I'm in college and I meet you and you are older than me and I tell you my real age, do not tell me I am a kid, because I am not a kid. By society standards, I'm 18, I'm a kid, yeah, but I am not a kid. Shut up, okay? I'm probably taller than you, bigger than you. Shut up, I really don't care. But anyway, she's like, what's my name? And then I was like, I forgot. And she just walked away pissed off. And I'm like, yo, come back. I'm just joking. And then, at that point, there's a band playing and everything. And I was just really bored. I didn't really have much to drink. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to head home now. So I headed back to Chris's place. And yeah, that was that. So that was a really, really horrible first start to my freshers week, really. And then I just like let it ride, really. So the first 2 weeks was tough. Now, I started to make more friends, and I have a nice selection of friend group. I have a lovely friend group who are in my course, actually, and we're always together. Like, it's literally the boys, and the boys only. So in college, like, I always have a Uno, like, you know, Uno cards, right? I have a set of Uno cards always with me. So in case I see a group of people just chilling, doing nothing, I just walk up to them. I'm like, yo, guys, you want to play some Uno? Like, yeah, sure. All the time. I mean, I met this group of people. These 2 Canadians. What was his name again? Nah, I forgot his name. But anyways, they're from Canada. And then from him, we played Uno together, had a good time. Was it Tommy, something like that, yeah. And then from there, I met through him a few other people, like 4 or 5 other people. And they were from Malta. And then there was one girl who's from Germany. And I went over to their place after playing Uno with this guy. Went over to their place in Ballymote, and we had a good time, like drinks and everything like that. We played a really, really funny game. I think it was like Find Hitler or something like that. It was really mad, but it was really funny. And from there now, we just like, you know, when you just see someone in the corridors or something, like it's just literally, hello, how are you, blah, 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 and that's it. So it's like that type of friendship, but like you're still cool and chill. And I have a good few of those as well, because at first, now after I settled in, I got a few friends and everything like that. I settled in, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I can now talk to more people because I'm feeling more comfortable. So I started to do that and everything. And I've met a lot of lovely people. I mean, there's this guy called Paul, bro. He's literally like a mirror of me, except he's white. And I met him the other night, a few weeks ago, actually. We met him in one of the student pubs in Sligo and in Bury. And basically, I was like, I've seen you before. And he's in accounting as well. And he's really smart. And I'm really good at accounting as well. So every time he'd be answering the question, I'm like, who is that? I know that guy. And then we ended up meeting at the pub, and it was just vibes, like straight up. We were just like talking and energetic and all this stuff. And bro, I'm telling you, the best place to meet friends, if you're coming to college next year, the best place to meet friends or meet new people is by going out to the pub, getting a bit of drink in you. Right? I don't want to be a bad influence, but it's the truth. Get a bit of drink in you, become more social, and from there onwards, you actually really. You meet all these people in the college, and then you just be like, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's another guy called Asan Lee. Bro, he knows himself. And literally, I'd always just see you and I'd be like, yeah, back to my point about Sligo's fashion. It's not really the best. I got ridiculed for that. You know that, Joe? I got ridiculed for that. But I always see him dressing in like, he has a really good dressing style and everything. So I was like, yeah, nah, this guy's really cool. And every time, I'd keep on seeing him all the time. And so I'd wink at him. I'm like, yo, what's good? And then we keep on doing that. And then I meet him out one of the nights and I go up and talk to him. And I was like, I always see you. He's like, yeah, I always see you too. I'm like, oh, we never talk to each other. I'm like, yeah. And then we just started talking and we're friends. So it's literally, you'll see people in the college and you'll be like, yeah, he looks really nice. Oh yeah, she's really fit or whatever it is. And then when you go out is when you actually get the chance to talk to them because it's like the perfect social setting. And yeah, man, I'm freaking loving it, man. I'm just loving it. Now that's the whole partying. The parties now, they're flipping amazing. I mean, everyone, no one wants to hurt anyone. No one wants to fight with anyone. When you pump into someone, you're like, oh, sorry, man, sorry, all this and all that. Everyone's absolutely chill. Everyone's vaping. Bro, these vapes must be stopped. I am a victim. These vapes must be stopped. I mean, you walk out, every exit in the college, everyone is flicking doing it, man. I'm telling you, if you want to be a humble child, you got to stay away from the exits, man. They're going to get you, bro. Nah, but what else was I going to say? Nah, in terms of the lectures and everything, they're absolutely perfect. I mean, the classes aren't too difficult at the moment. I have a couple of projects I need to do, like writing up reports. It's kind of hard because I've never done it before, but if you want to become a businessman, you kind of have to know these things. So yeah, but nah, my college experience has been amazing. Would I recommend college to anybody? I absolutely would. And this was just me, I guess, talking about my experience so far. And I'm going to have some of these interesting people because whenever I'm in the canteen, I'm always talking to these people. And I'm like, yeah, they know I have a podcast. So I'm like, you know what? Since I want my podcast to be like a community, right? I just want people to feel important, to feel like their voice is actually, important and valued and everything. And they also have I'm repeating myself. They have a voice as well. Like, I'd be interested to see, like, I'll give you a teaser of one of the possible episodes, if it is possible, is, I have a friend who's a bouncer, one of the most popular pubs in Sligo. He said he wouldn't mind coming on to do an episode whenever he has time and tell us about some of the stories that he's able to tell us about. I have a few friends who works in really busy bars. So the funny stories, drown people. I have funny stories as well because I'm a bartender and a waiter. So like I have some really, really funny stories as well to tell from my experience in working. Or take, for example, we'll bring some people from like, what's it called? Some from Czech Republic, some from Ukraine if they want. Like I like to learn about new things, about how people live and everything. So we'll have that on as well. I mean, there's very many different people that I've met, and I'm grateful that I started this podcast because then I can bring such like crazy different and diverse people on here and have in Ireland, of all places, in Ireland, and actually talk to them and get you to listen to it as well. And we build a community off of that sense. We don't care about people who are like very famous and all this stuff, even though it would be nice to have someone on. We just want to get value from this podcast. It's a we thing. It's not a me thing. It's a we thing. And yeah, some more funny. I'm definitely gonna have an episode where it's like talking about my nights out. The very, very first night that was the best. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I want to say it now. I'll have an episode for specifically nights out in Sligo. I got kicked out of the nightclub, and I'll leave it at that for like a nice little cliffhanger. I got kicked out of the nightclub. As to why, you're gonna have to wait for that episode whenever it may be. So, with that being said, if you are coming to college once again, hopefully this is giving you like a sort of thing to like base your experience off of. And when you come into college, first year, like me, first year, I've only been here like 2 months now. Is it 3? September. A month and a half. Almost 2 months, yeah. Come with an open mind. Accept people as they are, because you're gonna have friends and you're not gonna like some things about them, but you can't change them. So accept people as they are. Come, enjoy yourself, enjoy the independence that you have, spend your money wisely, keep on top of your work, at least do it like regularly. I need to take that advice. But no, literally, it's an amazing part of your life, honestly. And I've heard different stories of people's experiences with college. Like they're actually struggling. Like there was one girl I was talking to yesterday who I used to go to the same school with, and she has to go to college. I'll finish up on this now, but she used to go to the same college, same school as me, and she now goes to college in Dublin, and she's doing like a music or something. And I went to the shop yesterday to buy a bit of snacks and some tomatoes as well, because my mom was making some dinner. And she's telling me about her experience. She's up like at 6:30 every morning, 6:45 or 6 o'clock in the morning every single day for her classes, and she doesn't finish until like 6 o'clock or like late in the evening, or like she doesn't even have 1 hour to herself. She also has to come back to Boyle or Roscommon every single weekend to work. Then she'll be working some evenings as well. On top of that, she has a lot of work to like, a lot of assignments to do. And then now with her traveling with the train, with her not having enough time to even make like a good meal or anything like that, just to eat, because you actually have to eat, with her not having time to herself or anything like that. That's her college experience. That's really, really tough. And one thing she really told me that I really need to reflect on is we all have different college experiences. I would say mine is very different to hers, because I'm just saying this humbly, like I'm blessed in the sense that I can drive to school. I'm not worrying about the food or anything like that in school. I'm okay with my assignments. It's not too tough. I love it and everything like that. And it's not difficult at all. Like I'm fine compared to her experience, where she is traveling up and down to Dublin like every week, has to come back to work to make the money for paying like for food and all our stuff and rent and everything. No time for food or having good food or going out with friends or anything like that. So if you compare our two like situations, it's a very, very different thing. That's why I just want to say, I'll also have an episode on that where I get people's different experiences with their college experience. Well, I just want to say that I'm really, really grateful that I'm not worried about that, things like that. There was a point in time when I was really, really busy with college work and podcasts and all this, but now it's dramatically cooled down, and I'm grateful for this. So yeah, I'm gonna end it with that. I hope my insight into my college life has been absolutely amazing, and I hope that you have something funny or interesting to tell me. And if you do tell me down in the comment section below. I really, really thrive off of feedback. Do let me know what you think, whether you thought it was good, whether you thought it was bad. But if you give me it was good or bad, you need to give me a reason. And best believe, like I said in my last episode, I will be checking. If you've listened to this podcast, I will be asking you, what was your favorite part? Because I do not want fake people. Okay. So with that being said, I will leave you guys with that, and I'll catch you in the next one.